Heard the tail end of my conversation with Aviv. Jim, we've only got about 4 minutes this morning. He gave a big history lesson on Israel over the last 30 years. What do you make of his optimism about Israel, and what do you make about our students on campuses who appear not to know anything about much?
Yeah, well, you asked for the students. It's a dangerous combination of arrogance and ignorance. When you're ignorant and you're arrogant, it means you don't think you need to learn anything. And so they don't learn anything. And what you have to do, if you're the authorities, is swoop in as soon as they cross the line into disorder or illegality and stop them. If you don't, the problem grows. And then eventually the force you have to use is much greater and the situation becomes much more dangerous. So that's what's happening on campus. As far as the Israelis are concerned, they're going to protect their state. They have powerful tools to defend themselves. They understand what they have to do, and they're going to do it. And they could do it quicker and at less cost to everybody if we'd simply support them. And, people like Tom Cotton and me and you and everybody has warned the Biden administration of this over and over again, but experience goes through them without stopping. And so they don't support Israel. Hamas thinks that the United States will stop Israel. And so they don't agree to the hostage deal. And why should they, you? They can always agree
Yeah.
later if they want to. They know we'll force Israel to give in. So these are the realities of the Middle East. And until our administration recognizes that, we're going to continue bouncing around from one fiasco to another.
Now, Senator Talent, you're with the Bipartisan Policy Center. People can follow you on X at Jim Talent, but the Bipartisan Policy Center really is bipartisan. Has it broken apart over supporting Israel?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. But at the same time, the stresses within the left are obviously very powerful. And that's part of what the Biden administration is responding to, of course. But it's bad politics in addition to bad policy. You'll notice it's not like President Biden's numbers have gotten better as he's equivocated on Israel, right? Because what happens when there's an issue that's hotly contested and people feel strongly about, if you try and go from one side to another, the people who disagree with you still disagree with you, but now they hold you in contempt. And that's what's happening here.
His last question, Senator. Joe Biden's approval rating on Israel is negative 70% plus. I've never seen a
Mhm.
number that bad. His positive is 28%. How does he turn that around? Is it possible to turn that around?
Yeah, you said earlier in the week, I forget who you were interviewing, that you thought the number was baked in. And I think you may be right. I mean, typically numbers like that don't get baked in until the late summer. But things are so bad domestically with inflation and crime and what's happening on the border. And this war is not going away. And again, ironically, if we had supported Israel from the beginning and strongly, if Joe Biden had been John Fetterman, it's possible the Israelis would have gotten this basically done by now. And if they had, that would certainly be better for Biden. The one thing they want is to get this off the front pages. But our equivocation has tended to drag this out.
And it's going to continue.